A Cactus comic production, based on the comics written and drawn by Nigel Maughan. This book, Mucky Pants, is about my childhood in the northeast of England. When I was a little boy, I was pretty much left up to my own devices and played out and got up into mischief. I was generally caked in mud, scabs and miscellaneous dirt. Every so often my mother would want to go out and she'd ask us all to get ready, and of course this was worrying because we had to face an inspection. She would ask me when I came in why I was limping. I'd say I hurt my leg. She'd say, is it bleeding? I'd say no. Then she said, it's not hurting. Get over here, let's have a look at you, she'd say. Then she'd ask me why I was crying, and I'd say I fell, and she'd say, stop it right now or I'll give you something to cry about, one of her favourite terms, and I swear to God she used to say that. Of course, when she went out, she lined us all up, the four youngest kids that is, 2 boys and 2 girls, and she would only take the boys or the girls, never all 4 on the same trip. She didn't want anyone seeing she had so many children, 7 altogether, so 2 of us would have to be cleaned up and made presentable to accompany her. On some occasions, of course, it was the boys, and we had to get our shoes on and present them to our mother, and the ordeal would begin. First of all, our shoes were never clean. It didn't matter when she asked to see them, and she'd have a go cleaning them up, and she'd scuff them and attack them for about 5 minutes with a brush, but no matter how hard she tried, they never looked any cleaner. Then she'd get a comb and a medieval torture device, and she would try and rip all the knots and other miscellaneous entanglements out of our hair. After that, of course, she moved to the visible parts of our skin, and she checked our hands and knees and face, and of course they were all invariably caked in filth. And I thought, well, it's fair enough checking the bits that you can see. I mean, if they're dirty, you should get black about it. But she checked behind my ears. I mean, as far as I could see, that was a little bit unfair. I mean, nobody went behind my ears, so why would she want to look there? And of course she had a perfect remedy for any amount of dirt. It was a hanky moistened with mommy spit. Now that was a truly terrifying experience. She could rub the enamel off the space shuttle's heat shield with a hanky, and more dirt, more spit, and she would really rub very hard. And freshly flayed and dirt free, we waited for the ultimate question. For some reason, we would be asked, did we have clean underpants on? And of course the answer was usually no. And she'd go mad, she'd go ballistic. And she'd say, but the way she would phrase it is, she'd say, go upstairs, I'd die of shame if you got run over. Now get some clean ones on. Now, I suppose if I was run over and taken to hospital, my putrefied pants would become exposed to a horrified world. My mother was a nurse, so she must have seen some fairly dodgy pants in her time, and also it might be one of her colleagues who made the discovery. I mean, either way, it always seemed a little bit odd to have the state of my underwear checked. I would have hoped that if I was run over, my mother would have spent every waking moment sitting at my bedside, anxiously waiting for her brave little soldier to come out of his coma, seeking reassurance that a little man was well, but no, that wasn't her first preoccupation. Apparently, if I was knocked down, she would be elsewhere doing a microscopic examination of my blood-stained underpants to make sure there were no skid marks on them. Brown skid marks, it is, not the kind left by cars. Also, she would probably shun the hospital ward where I was being kept, because the staff would know that she was the mother of the boy who'd been admitted and had been wearing dirty pants. I mean, the solution to this problem only occurred to me later in life. I just lied. I just said, yes, of course I've got clean pants on, Mum. And she'd say, are you sure? She'd never check. I worked out the chances of being run over and found out they were very slim, and it seemed to please her. It never occurred to me just to put on clean pants, and I'd say yes, I'm sure. And what would have happened if I'd been run over and failed the all-important gusset exam? If I was hospitalised, I could just say that the impact had made me soil myself. Maybe she'd believe me, maybe she wouldn't. I'd just have to take my chances. She didn't want to hear the truth anyway. At least it meant we could just go out, even though I was playing Russian roulette with my dirty pants. No one got hurt, and I made a decision, took a risk, and would have accepted the consequences. It's called growing up. The end.